Hello again, everyone. This is Gilmer, and this is episode 15 of my Let's Play Gary Grigsby's War in the East. I'm playing the Soviets, and my voice sounds a little weird. I don't know if I'm coming down with something or what, but I haven't really talked much today, so I didn't really notice it, but just now I'm noticing it. But anyway, it's turn 9, August 14th, 1941. I have off screen. After I turned off the last episode, I did evacuate Smolensk. Didn't seem to be any need to keep it at this point. I was surrounded almost on all sides, so time to give up the ghost on that. I think what I'm going to do is fall back to this river and this river and maybe this river, because there's a possibility of a bubble right here that could come down like this and come up like this or something like that, and I don't really want that to happen. I want to be to the point where I want to be to the point where I'm not stretching my lines or having too many bulges in my lines, so that we can put up a cohesive defense. I've whoa. Whoa. Okay. So let's move those, since I'm basically pulling back out of Gomel. And there we go. Yeah, I'm pulling back out of Gomel. I don't want to leave any industry there while I'm pulling back. Let's see. We'll pull him back there. We'll pull him back there. We'll put him behind the river. We'll put him there. We will put him there. We will... I can't really... We'll move him all the way back. And then we'll move these guys back here. I really want to start moving a lot of these guys kind of northeast to help with this area up here, because these guys are probably still gone. I mean, all they have to do is just move through here and attack this guy, and this guy attacks here, and then they push through there. Yeah, it's not looking good for the Soviets in this area, but you do what you have to do, because if you don't, you die. If you were actually fighting the war, obviously. This isn't a rifle division. We'll put him there. We'll put them there. Not much firepower there. We don't want him to be too far forward. This guy needs to be reattached to somebody. And so if I kind of pull these guys back and make a line kind of down through here, I can get a more dense area covered with my troops. Although I really don't want to give up the river that's southwest, west, and northwest there. So I'm going to leave those guys there. These guys are still building. I'm just going to try to make sure that I'm making this as difficult as possible for these guys. They're in swamp, but well, they're okay there for now. I don't know if what I can do with these. Let's get him. That guy's good. He's a good, strong unit. Where's Smolensk? There it is, right there. So we're not going to give this up easily at all. We're going to fight. We'll put him in Vyazma. So you see, their units are looking. They're still way more powerful than my units, obviously, but they're starting to kind of get a look to them like, you know, they were in the 40s now, and they're in the 30s and the teens and the 20s. I'm hoping that their supply situation is starting to get worse. If it is, then we're in good shape. If it's getting bad, hopefully next turn this will be in the 20s. This will be close to 20 to 19 to 18 maybe. And once they start getting to that range, I can start holding them, in my opinion. And, hopefully slow these guys down to the point where I'm not just getting utterly backed up easily. And I'm still hoping, and like I said, I'm playing this as blind as any kind of person has ever done it. So I don't know when the rainy season is going to hit, or even if it does hit. I'm hoping that happens. If it's anything like war in Russia, the rainy season will stop them cold. They won't be, their tanks won't be able to move through the mud. Their attacks won't work very well. I'm just hoping. I'm hoping at this point, because if that happens, that's going to be really good for me. That will be almost a godsend. I don't know that in real life if they were sitting there hoping for weather like that, but after it hit, and they saw what happens to the mechanized forces. I bet they were pretty happy. It might have been miserable. I mean, obviously you're on the front lines. It's rainy. It's muddy. You probably can't get any dry spot whatsoever. But I'd be almost willing to bet that even so, it was a decision between being dead or being uncomfortable and being miserable because of the weather. So we should maybe think about that when we're sitting around complaining that the electricity went off during a thunderstorm or something. I mean, we've got it pretty good. So anyway, I think I'm gonna move him down. Move these guys down. I don't want them in jeopardy of these guys moving through. That's not a very strong unit right there, a very strong grouping of units. Look at that. If you can see over here, there are no guns, no tanks, just 812 men, 920 men, and 1162 men. What do these guys? Now, see, these guys have some guns. They have, what is it, about almost 400, 470, 480. Yeah, almost, 370, 380. Almost 400 guns, 11,000 men, 11,000 men, 11,000 men. So they're all right. They're in good shape. These guys are in good shape. These guys are in pretty good shape. This border regiment is a smaller unit, obviously, and they only have 867 men, but I promised we would look at reinforcements, and that's what we're going to do. What's this? Event log. Europe zone clear. South Soviet zone clear. Central Soviet zone clear. North Soviet zone clear. Forecast clear. Isolated units. 70, 80. Oh, here's our leaders. This guy was, I'm pretty sure he sucked. I don't think he, oh wow. They got Zhukov. I don't know if he had any brothers or not, but if Zhukov took control of the Fifth Army, Potapov, I think, had a horrible record. Arrived units. I wonder if I can. No, 183.72. So let's see where 183.72 is. 129. 180. Let's 175. 180. Is it? Are these the guys? Well, I know these two are not bad. Let's get them as close as we can. And I'm just going to start saturating the area between here and Moscow. I just saturate it to the point where if they make it through, then it'll be they deserve to win the war. Is how I'm going to look at it, because I am not going to leave this area open. These units, when they come online, are going to go right in through here. These units, when we get them up to the front, are going to go right in here, and we're going to hold Moscow at all costs. This guy can move. We can move him. Let's move him to Bryansk. Let's move these guys up. How far can we move them? Pretty far. Where's Moscow? Where's Moscow? There's Moscow. So We're going to push these guys to as close or as far as we can. We got a lot of troops down here, but they don't have any movement. That guy does. So let's get him. We can only go as far as Voronezh. Voronezh. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Although it doesn't make that much difference if I am butchering it. I don't know. I like that little area right there. It's in the middle of rivers on all sides and a lake on its north side. He'll probably get completely surrounded and I'll lose him, but let's take a look at some of the stuff down here. Not really doing very much right there. But then again, what's going on down here? We'll shorten our lines a little bit here. I hate losing that fortified region, but there's not much to do about that. There's not much I can do. Let's see. He's he's all right. I mean, this area looks good. You know, it passes the eye test, but these guys are isolated. If you remember, that was I think that was right in the little area that I had created a mini pocket, and I had 3 hexes pocketed, and they had units in 2 of those hexes, but their units were very strong. And of course, what happened is the units that I was using to kind of create that pocket got isolated. I mean, yeah, that's the chance you take, and the overall benefit was that it slowed them down probably a little bit. My game is lagging just a little bit. Sorry about that. If I go out a little bit, it does a little better. As you can see, they're not trying to come through the swamps and marshes of Belarus, Pripyat marshes. Good for me. Just one less thing to worry about. So I turned off the jump map too, so I can't. I'm just going to have to scroll up. Well. I got 238 admin points. This is the area. Let's move him. What the hell? Can I undo that? Yes, thank you. That's what happens when you start lagging. And then we're going to create fortified unit there, fortified region. I guess the best place to do it is Minor River West and Northwest is in these little in these areas where they've got guys further forward than anybody else or farther forward than anybody else. Their lines, it wouldn't make any sense, I don't think, to do fortified units here because they're so far behind that they might get cut off. But in here, in this area, I think it makes sense because they're much further ahead, so they're not going to try. There's to it's going to be very hard for them to pocket that. So they're going to, if they advance forward, they're going to have to advance forward through my fortified regions. That doesn't look good. Let's do something there. There's not much I can do about that. There's really not. These guys here that were in Smolensk, they're pretty much, they're probably history. And I don't know. Somebody might tell me that these fortified units or fortified regions are worthless, and I shouldn't be doing them. I mean, gotta learn somehow. So let's see what they have. They have no experience. I guess they have to build up a little bit because that's ridiculous. Nobody would buy it if it was that. Let's see. Can I merge? Disband the add component element to other units in the hex. I mean, I don't know. What else were we going to look at maybe this time? Let's take a look at the losses. 980,599 men to 127,279. I've seen it a lot worse than that in some after action reports. What is this? Reinforcement. So in 821, I'll get all these units. And then on 828, I'll get all these units. And on 94, I get all these units. So, man, that's a lot of units. So the situation isn't as dire as it looks. I'm going to get a lot of units in the next few turns. It's just a question of getting them to the right place and putting up a cohesive defense. Where is the 5th Army? Let's take a look at that. 41st Army, 40th Army. Holy sheesh. That guy's got a lot of units. The 8th Army. There's probably an easier way to find out where the 5th Army is. See, the 3rd Army, the 4th Army, the 10th Western Command. Yeah. Let's see. There, the 5th Army. Yeah, that's Zhukov, all right. Where is... There he is, the 5th Army right there. I wonder if you can still, that's not who I wanted. I wonder if you can still select Podakov or whatever his name was. He had a horrible record, I remember that. There he is, Potapov. Pretty sure that's the one. Oh, if I click on him, he'll replace Korobkov, and I don't know that although 0 victories, 9 defeats. His stats aren't very good. General Major. Wait a minute, there's Georgy Zhukov. Oh, wait a minute, that's 5th Army, so that is him. So that's mechanized infantry or motorized or infantry, air, naval. And the guy that we have is a 3-5. Most of them are 3-5s or less. There's a 4-6. He's with the general. He's with the 27th Army though. Let's see if we can't find... Lieutenant General. Here's some general majors. Let's why is he not? Why is he not? He's got a winning record. Let's yeah, victories, defeats. And he's got some decent stats, so we'll see what he does. I'm going to leave that unit there just to as a slow them down. Yeah. I'm encouraged. I am encouraged. I think we're getting there. I think with the units that we're going to be getting, the new units that we're going to be getting on the reinforcement schedule, I think with those, I think we're going to do pretty well. So I'm I'm going to call this episode to a close. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.